The life cycle of a research consists of different steps. I'll be talking about each of them in great detail. First of all, you need to identify the data needs. You need to know what are you intending to do. This is extremely important for clinical research. To identify what are you planning to do and why do you want to do it. Like you need to justify it. And once you identify what you intend to do, then you need to spell out the research question. Extremely important. Spell out the research question. Once you know, then you will be spelling out the research question. And after spelling out the research question, next step is you will be formulating the study objectives. Formulate study objectives. This sequence you need to memorize thoroughly because this is extremely important and asked in MCQs in your BCME course, exam course. Formulate study objectives. Then next time what you will be doing, you will be planning the analysis. Plan the analysis. Then after planning the analysis, what you will be doing, you will be preparing the data collection instruments. After planning the analysis, you will be preparing data collection instruments. Prepare data collection instruments. Now, once you have prepared the data collection instruments, the next step, this is also extremely important. Obviously, you are going to collect data. Yeah, that's right. You will be collecting the data. After collection of data, the next step is obviously, yes, you are right. Whoever said extremely correct, absolutely correct. Analysis of data, that is analyze data. There's a beautiful film called Analyze This. Welcome is a copy of that film, Akshay Kumar's film. Yeah. Analyze the data. Then after analyzing the data, you will be drawing the conclusions. Draw conclusions. And once you draw conclusions, after that you will be formulating the recommendations. Formulate recommendations. And once you formulate recommendations, yes, I know what all you are saying. You all are saying absolutely correct. After formulation of recommendations, the last but not the least step is informing the stakeholders. The people who are investing in the study. My study, no one invested it. I did it all by myself. So this you will be doing on a large scale. So this is practice for you, your MD or MS thesis, so that you can do a bigger clinical research. Then talking about research question, this is extremely important. First, you need to understand what does it mean. Research question sets out to find out what the investigator wants to know. What do you want to know? And this is then divided into descriptive questions and analytical questions. Descriptive, I told you, involve observations to measure a quantity. There is no comparison group or intervention at all. And analytical question, on the other hand, they involve comparisons. So here analytical questions, they involve comparisons, and as I told you in my previous video, analytical questions involve comparison interventions to test a hypothesis. And one extremely like, for example, I'll give you an example. Example makes things easy to understand. Descriptive question. What is the extent of walking practiced by type 2 diabetes? What is the extent of walking practiced by, what is extent of walking? So now we are just measuring a quantity, just we are observing it. What is the extent of walking? Quite vague, right? In type 2 diabetics. Now similar example will make it super easy for you to understand. Example, in order to improve management for type 2 diabetes, we wish to know whether brisk walking by diabetics for at least 1 hour daily reduces fasting blood sugar as compared, here we are comparing, so we involve comparisons or interventions, as compared to those who not. Those who do not work, to those who do not work, and to those who work. Does it reduces our fasting blood sugar? So we are comparing. This is used for testing a hypothesis, whereas descriptive is used for analysis or no. Descriptive question is only used to generate a hypothesis. Fine. Okay, one extremely important point I need to mention here about is what is peer review. Peer review, while it is important in the overall research process, especially during the publication or protocol review, when you will give your article for international publication in a journal, then it can be publication or a protocol review. It is important, but what you need to remember, an extremely common question asked in the BCBR exam, it is not a direct step, not a direct step in the framing of research question, not a direct step in the framing of research question. This is very important. This you need to remember because this comes as a multiple choice question. Okay, now moving on to the steps used in conceiving a research question. First of all, what you will do, you will review state of the art information. You will review all the information that is available at hand right now. Review state of art information. First, you will see that what all the literature is present. Like when I was doing my research in type 2 diabetes mellitus and depression, that was 12 years back, 2013, during my MD. I first reviewed all the literature that was available. That is 12 years. Now it is a proven fact. That time it was a new thing. Yeah. After reviewing, then I raised a question that what if we give these two groups different intervention? Then raise a question. And after that, you decide worth investigating by peer review. Here we will see whether it is worthy of being investigated. This can be achieved by submitting it for peer review. Then we will define measurable exposures and outcomes. Define exposure, outcome, like case control study, cases controls, we see the exposure outcome, right? In cohort also, there we measure the relative risk in cohort. Then after that, we will be sharpening the initial question. Sharpen the initial question. Sharpen the initial question. And then after that, last but not the least, refine the questions. You need to refine the questions. And once you refine the question, we are done and